Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hasu Hour. I'm your host, Zerg, and the map is Orbital Shipyard. You'll note the presence of a natural expansion geographically isolated from the rest of the map, defensible from your main choke. This is a key feature of the map and leads to easily defensible early fast expansions. So, an early scout for me, my drone coming upon the Terran wall and immediately attacking the SCV building the barracks, managed to delay the barracks slightly, but also getting in some hits on the SCV, getting a kill. So, first blood to me, and the drone still biting away at the wall, at the SCV. The SCV down to half its health, just 3-4 hits left. Unfortunately, the SCV does manage to escape, but another one hit left on that SCV. Another kill, 3 kills from this drone, predator drone. Truly a hero of the Soviet Union. This guy is. Back to my build. The excitement at the Terran's wall did actually end up delaying my pool, so that is going to be a little slow. The queen is going to be delayed, and I go for early expansions. You'll note the workers here. So double expand for Zerg. Terran going for an expansion himself, as well as double gas, no doubt. Factory soon to follow. Of course, orbital command. At this stage, we enter into a macro phase of the game. I'm pumping lings, and my opponent is taking to factory, producing SCVs, soon to get his expansion online. You'll note the 3 harvester advantage, which should grow more severe as I have already my second hatchery online, and now the third. So factory almost finished now for opponent. Terran immediately with a starport, and I do go ahead and set up a couple scouting lings at the entrance to his base just to detect if he is going to try a little Hellion harass or a early marine attack. Would have been a good idea to get an overlord somewhere in here just so I could ascertain the timing of his natural expansion and use that to infer perhaps if maybe some early troop threat is coming. Tech lab now for the Terran, as well as a tank pump, and pretty much just a straight drone for myself. Only 4 lings, scouting. I put a couple sort of on the side on the off chance they might discover a drop. Terran deciding to do a little scouting of his own. And here we have Liberator being built. He does need that defender mode, which no doubt a priority. And there it is. So the defender mode does take a little bit longer than the Liberator. Now, whether or not you want to get defender mode first, I think you probably would. The Liberator, not particularly impressive air to air, especially in small numbers. In larger numbers, the splash is pretty powerful, but one-on-one with one air unit, the Liberator is fairly weak. So I'm sure we can expect some Liberator harass, planted Liberators here, defender mode. I did throw down a couple of spore colonies since I wasn't sure if I would be facing a tech threat, perhaps Banshee. Looking at the harvester count here, 18 additional harvesters. So really quite the imbalance in terms of miners, byproduct of the early triple expansion. Still do need to get my natural fully online, but pretty healthy income. And you'll see I have now a Roach Warren as well as 2 Evoke Chambers. Here we have the Liberators attacking, getting into position, looking like they might be going for my second natural or my main. And the Liberator is very powerful, Zerg versus Terran. Really annoying unit to fight. The defender mode, there's a lot of damage. And in the circles go. Pretty nice, getting lots of kills. But the Queen's now sneaking around, getting some hits, and targeting. They are going to be under attack in a second. 14 kills for the Liberators, but a handy transfusion does one Liberator down, 2 Liberators down, so the threat is fended off, although the harvester count has equalized somewhat, and Terran is now jumping ahead somewhat in income, although it's actually pretty even. But all in all, pretty spectacular attack. 14 drones slaughtered by the 2 Liberators, although with the economy that I've managed to create simply through mass droning for the entire game, not too difficult to get the 3 bases back online. I do have a 1 base advantage, and these are mature bases that have been around for relatively some time now. So that is fairly significant. You'll note a 72 supply edge for red. And little Banshee harass, I guess. 6 Ravager contingent of the army. The Corrosive Bile, an interesting ability that launches sort of like a delayed missile. Here we have a cheeky little Banshee harass of the army, getting a Ravager kill, dodging the Corrosive Bile, and certainly this 2-kill Banshee earning his stripes today, but chased off by 5 slow Hydralisks. Now, little 4-tank defensive perimeter here, along with Firebats, mine, and Ravens. Ravens not nearly as powerful as they were prior to the changes. The changes being auto turret is now more powerful, but much shorter lasting. Seeker missile is more expensive. Army composition for Zerg, Roach, Hydra, Ravager with 1/1 upgrades, armor upgrade for the Terran, and looks like he's pretty much focused on factory units, tank Firebat, does have to watch out for a quick muta-switch would really devastate this anti-land army. And we see here a spread of overlords providing both scouting and establishing a creep highway, as well as making it easier for these queens to set up the creep tumors across the map. It's very micro unintensive this way. You can just sort of shift click, set up spawn creep tumors all over the place, enabling your units to move quicker and to have that map-esque scouting across the field. Zerg now maxed. I do like to have multiple queens at each base just so I can take advantage of the multiple spawn larvas. You can spawn larvae multiple times, and what happens when you do that is after the larvae spawn again, they continuously sort of spawn until all the spawn larvae that have been stacked are exhausted. So a little scouting expedition here from the Banshee Raven force. One upgrades now for Terran, but 2-2 upgrades here. And I am going to need a hive at this point to upgrade any further. Lurker Den coming down. No lurkers yet. Still the Hydra, Roach, Ravager, and a pretty good unit composition for Terran, but a fourth base now almost fully online for myself, with a fifth coming up. Terran grabbing their fourth base and beginning a push. The Raven is pretty nice here just to see any tumors, and we have combat. The tanks not quite sieging quick enough, but yeah, the fully encircled Hydralisks eating up the Mech Warrior army, and probably that was a slight victory for Zerg, just in terms of armies, but given the economic situation and the resources that have been stockpiled, as well as the larva, I was quickly able to max again, and also denied my opponent his fourth base. $72 to 41 harvesters. Terran pulling ahead here in income with these 9 mule rescue. But both his main and his natural getting sort of mined out. Already my main is mined out. And you'll note pretty even worker count here. You do have to watch your worker count as you get into the mid game and mineral patches are mined out. You don't want to have any idle 12 out of 8 sort of situations. You want to get those workers to the new expos. 10 lurker morph coming here to join the Roach Hydra Ravager composition. 80 supply advantage for me here, and really nice scouting with these overlords. Total view of what's going on the map. Not going to get surprised. And this creep spread here enables my army to move quickly, which is important in these situations where you've got to try to sort of flank or just a move, as the case may be. Lurkers burrowing and doing tremendous damage to the Terran army. Corrosive bile being spewed, and that is everything.